Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be, whatever you may be doing. Hello, and thank you so much for joining today. My name is Tariro Mundawarara, and the practice today, it's part of, I wouldn't even call it a series. I don't even really know what perhaps the technical term is any longer. It's a space which I call the self remains. And in this space, we talk about essentially internal family systems. And internal family systems is a modality which it's a somatic modality which has been essentially around in different guises for a while, but kind of formally as IFS came about originated by Dr. Richard Schwartz. And the precursor to this space, we were going through almost as a book club, his book, No Bad Parts. And the practice, well, not practice, what we're going to talk today about is really I've kind of encapsulated it as why peace never arrives when you're chasing it. And it's something which I think we kind of know and feel and is quite familiar, which is why I wanted to talk about it today. The topic today, I started really with peace. And I think even before peace, there is what I used to always wish for, which was happiness, to be happy. I remember when I started this chapter of this journey, circa 2020, 2021, and I would have difficult days, difficult weeks. I just remember constantly sitting and thinking, I wish I could be happy. I wish I could be happy. I'd meditate and pray and just long for happiness. And over these last 5 years, what I've found is that what I've actually, I wouldn't even necessarily call it wanted, but what the seeking or what that place, what that space for me has been is peace. And often we try and find, whether for you it's happiness or peace, whatever it is, through reading books, doing meditations. And I don't know about you, but it was this great kind of race to fix something. I was trying to fix something. And not just fix, I think I was also trying to extinguish the pain. A pain. And I guess I was trying to become a version of me that was bulletproof, bomb-proof, that would finally feel okay, happy. But there's something that nobody told me, at least, probably nobody tells any of us often, is that often the issue, the challenge, the barrier, is the chase. And I stumbled across this. I remember I would watch religiously videos of like a certain coach online. And I'd work out every morning and I'd work out watching her videos, and they really spoke to me. And I found solace in them. And then I suddenly realized that what I actually was doing was I had a coping mechanism. And I realized that I just had to stop. I had to stop plugging into the videos. I had to stop reading the books, stop seeking and chasing out there. And what I essentially and inherently realize is that peace doesn't arrive when I chase it, when you chase it, when we chase it. Peace arrives when we stop running from what's already here. And it's something which, to be honest, happens to me more often than not. You know, you wake up feeling anxious. So you do your morning routine. You meditate, you journal, you exercise, you do affirmations. And the intent is quite clear. What we're trying to do is to create peace. And for that moment, be able to do it. And this is obviously my story. And by 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, lunchtime, the anxiety is back. So I do more. I do another meditation, another walk. When I plugged into and I found a podcast that spoke and resonated to me, I'd listen to that. Or message a friend, a colleague, a sibling, therapist, coach. And I'd think, if I just do enough of the right things, probably in the right order, eventually I'll get there. Eventually I'll be happy. I'll be at peace. But you never do. Because peace isn't a destination. And the more you chase it, the more you try to create it, manufacture it, force it, feel it, the further away it gets, for me at least. And in there lieth the paradox of it all. So I ask myself, why do we do this? Why do we chase peace like it's something we don't have, something we don't already possess? Because somewhere along the line of the journey that we've walked and continue to walk, we learn that what we are isn't enough. And it started at a young age. We were told that in order for us to be accepted by our parents, by our friends, by our siblings, there was something that we had to do in order to gain that love, that respect, that being seen. And so it's something which we took on board. We learned that we had to be fixed, that there was something wrong, that we needed to do something in order to be, get, receive love. And those of us who are parents, I presume, I'll speak just purely for myself, we do it all the time. Not out of malice, not because we want to. It's, I don't know what is. It's, oh, I'm not tired, go to sleep. Whatever it is, don't do this, you need to do your homework. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we shouldn't have discipline, we shouldn't have boundaries. But to a young, impressionable mind, this is where it starts. And so, in that, we learned that we're always needing to do better. And I remember on the last session which we had, there was a lot of discussion around what parents would say that, was pretty toxic. And those words and phrases remained with us. So, having learned that, having been told that, we learned that we need to transcend ourselves to be acceptable. And this is where chasing starts. Chasing that next level of consciousness, chasing that elevation, chasing the healed version of ourselves, chasing the moment when we'd finally be free from anxiety, from fear, from all those uncomfortable parts that really make us human. And there was a part of us that believed that if I just work hard enough at this, if I read the right book, watch the right video, listen to the correct podcast or meditation, I'll be able to turn on the switch that'll just allow me to let go of this pain, this person, this feeling, this sadness. If I just do enough inner work, if I just meditate, journal, heal enough, then I'll finally be at peace. But what that part doesn't understand is that the chase itself is actually what's keeping us from it, from peace. Because in chasing peace, we're operating from a belief that you don't have it. It exists outside of you. That somehow you're broken, and peace is what happens when you finally fix yourself. But you're not broken, I'm not broken, we're not broken. And peace doesn't exist outside of us. Peace has always been within us. And it's by going within that we unlock it. By understanding ourselves within is how we unlock it. So, I'll tell you what my version, or what I see peace actually being. Peace isn't the absence of anxiety. It's not the absence of fear or doubt or discomfort. It isn't a state that we achieve. Peace is what's here. It's here, it's here, it's here, it's in us. So what happens when you stop fighting what's inside? It's not something that you create. It's what remains when you stop resisting. When you stop resisting what is. When you stop trying to fix. When you stop trying to transcend. When you stop trying to run away from discomfort. When you stop trying to drown it, watch it out, connect it out. Whatever coping mechanism you use, because that part inside of us is anxious. There's a part inside of us that is scared. There's a part inside of us that feels inadequate. And what we've been very good at doing is trying to get rid of those parts. I joke all the time, for 2-3 years, I was doing, child work, shadow work. And then I was talking to Sarah. I think I was actually, if not on a podcast with her, or maybe on Inside Time Alive with her. And she said, oh, yeah, well, internal family systems. And I was just like, hang on, talk to me about that. And she spoke about it. And I was like, wow, inadvertently, that's what I've been doing all of this time. Parts work. And what I had been doing was building a relationship with those parts. Connecting with them. Spending time with them, understanding them. Bringing them out of the shadows. Because by trying to meditate them away, affirm them away, heal them away, I actually, I was probably taking steps in the right direction. But it got to a point where I was probably just walking in quicksand and not making any progress. And looking back on it now, in preparation for this, I realized that for whatever reason, what I did when I sat and said, I'm going to stop looking outside to someone else, to something else, to fix me. I guess what I was saying is, what if those parts aren't the problem? What if the issue, what if the challenge is the fact that I've been ignoring them? At times fighting them. Rebuking them, chastising them. What if happiness at the time wasn't about getting rid of the anxiety, but about being able to hold the anxiety without needing it to go away? And I'm constantly reminded about that. I'm on a course right now, and we're talking about empathy and triggers and a different way of approaching what happens when I get triggered. rather than trying to brush it off or have a tool to solve it. Having empathy and sitting with it. And really sitting with the trigger. And understanding what that trigger is doing within me. Because what I've learned and continue to learn and continue to learn is that peace doesn't come from having the right thoughts. It doesn't come from healing all my wounds. It doesn't come from transcending my triggers. Peace comes from being willing to be with what is. Even when what is uncomfortable. Even when there's anxiety, fear, doubt. When I wake up in the morning and I feel uncomfortable. I feel blah. And I think what peace is, for me at least, is that aspect that can hold all of that. Without needing to fix it, without needing to cope, without needing to change it, have it go away, but to sit with it. And to have that deep understanding that this too shall just being able to sit with it and know that it's not going to overwhelm me, and know that later or tomorrow the dust will settle. Because peace is the container, not the contents. And we've been so focused on changing the contents, getting rid of the anxiety, the fear, the discomfort, the loneliness, that you forgot that you are the container. You are the space in which all of this is happening. And that space is already peaceful. So, how do you stop chasing? How do you stop chasing peace? How do you stop chasing happiness and actually find it? Let me give you 4 things that I've seen. And for me, it all starts with noticing that you're chasing. That moment back in 2021 where I was just like, whoa, slow down. Realizing it. Noticing when you're meditating to get rid of anxiety. Noticing when you're journaling to fix yourself. Noticing when you're reading the book to finally become the person who has it all together, or to learn the tools to allow you to let go. Again, like I said, like a switch. Oh, this is painful. I need to let go. The book said I need to do this, do that, do this, do that. So let me do it. And just notice when you're doing that. Because the chase always comes from a part of you that believes you're not okay as you are. And when you can see that part, when you can notice it, that's the beginning of it. You're no longer the chase. You're the one who's noticed and is observing the chase. And that is, my opinion, perspective, the beginning of peace. Second, and this is the hard one, stop trying to fix. That's hard. Stop trying to fix. And now, am I saying go cold turkey? No, not really. I'm saying you've noticed it. And I'm saying stop trying to fix, not because you're perfect, not because you don't have work to do, not because Terry said so, but because the belief that you're broken, the belief that something has to be fixed, is what's keeping you, is what's keeping peace at bay. When we approach ourselves like a problem that needs to be solved, when you approach anxiety, fear, discomfort like something that needs to be fixed, there's conflict, friction. And you can't be at peace when you have conflict with yourself. It just doesn't happen. So instead, what if, instead of trying to fix the anxiety, you just acknowledged it? There's anxiety here. There's fear here. There's discomfort here. And that acknowledgement, we're acknowledging it not as a problem, just as what is. And we approach it from that perspective. So, the third one, befriend what's here. Because the parts of you that are anxious, that are scared, uncomfortable, they're not your enemies. They're parts that are and have only ever been trying to protect you, trying to protect me, trying to protect us. The anxiety is a response that they have to try and keep you safe. The fear is trying to prevent you from being hurt further. The discomfort is trying to get your attention about something that matters, shine a spotlight on something. So instead of trying to get rid of them, instead, what if we look at them and engage with them from a place of wonder? What if you asked, what are you trying to tell me? What are you afraid of? What do you need from me? What are you afraid will happen if you stop making me anxious, making me fearful? What are you afraid will happen? And then just listen. Not to fix, not to change, just simply to listen and to understand. And importantly, to create a relationship with these parts, a relationship that allows them to start trusting you. Because when you stop fighting them and start listening to them, they soften. They really do. And in that softening, peace emerges. Not straight away, not after a few days, few weeks, few months. There is no time limit to it. But peace does emerge. And take it from me, bear witness to that. One day you just realize, I'm at peace. And don't get me wrong, it's not a state that you walk around in forever. If I speak for myself, that feeling of being solid comes and goes. Or like truly being solid. But that feeling of being comfortable in my own skin, yeah. It's there now more often than not. And the last thing, and it's the simplest thing, is return to your breath. Because peace isn't in our thoughts. It's not in your story about yourself. It's not in the future version of you that finally has it all figured out. Peace exists in the now. In that breath that we're taking right now. In the sensation of air moving in and out of your body. Eckhart Tolle in The Power of Now talks about in the now there is no pain. And the breath is the now. That feeling of your chest rising and falling. In there is where peace lives. In the present moment. Not in the past that we're running away from or trying to heal from, and not in the future that we're scrambling to try and get to. But right here, right now, in this breath, in this moment, at 17:43 or whatever time it is that you are on right now, this is where peace exists. So, if there are one or two things that you take away from this today, I hope it's that you take away the fact that you don't need to chase peace. You don't need to do more. You don't need to heal more. You don't need to become some version of yourself, because peace isn't an achievement. It's not a badge. It's something that we already are. Beneath the anxiety, beneath the fear, underneath all the parts that are trying so hard to keep us safe, there's a you. A deeper, quieter, more spacious you. The self. That's already at peace. And we are already at peace. You just forgot. Because so much energy and we've been so busy chasing it. So stop. Stop trying to get somewhere. Stop trying to become someone. And just come home. Come home to the present moment. To the breath. To the part of you that was, is, and never will not be at peace. Because peace is always there. It's been waiting for you to stop running, waiting for you to stop chasing, waiting for you to just be with all of it. anxiety, the fear, the discomfort. And welcome it all. And when you can hold all of it without needing, wanting, or having to change it, that's when you realize and you see that you were always at peace. So, in closing, there's nothing you're doing wrong. You're not broken. You don't need to do more healing, more retreats, more meditations. Just stop. Just stop. And just be here. Be here with yourself, with what is. And know that I am here walking that same journey with you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And I hope these words, this practice, were of help. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for continuing to support. And that is that. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening. And thank you for supporting Stories from the Soul. I hope you enjoyed what you heard today. Please do consider following, sharing, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Good, bad, it's all helpful and it all helps improve the show. You can reach out, join my newsletter, or check out my other courses and other work at tariromundawarara.com. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.